The lights had barely hit dawn when news started spreading like wildfire. Tiny Harris, the woman who had stood by T.I through every scandal, every rumor, every heartbreak, had just filed a $100 million lawsuit armed against him. Nobody wanted to believe it at first. Not after everything they'd been through. Not after all those years of ride or die promises. But the documents were real, the lawyers were real, and the accusations were explosive. According to Tiny, T.I hadn't just betrayed her emotionally, he'd used her money to fund secrets that would shake their entire family. And the most shocking part? She claimed that money was used to hide Shekinah's pregnancy. The world froze. Shekinah? The same Shekinah who was once Tiny's best friend. The woman she called her sister, her confidant, her business partner. That revelation alone would have been enough to send social media into a meltdown. But the lawsuit wasn't just about betrayal. It was about revenge. Years of pain wrapped into one bold public strike. When the story broke, T.I was reportedly blindsided. Sources close to him said he was devastated and furious, pacing around his Atlanta home in disbelief. "This can't be real," he kept repeating. But it was. Tiny had officially declared war, not just in private, but in front of the entire world. People started digging. Old photos of Tiny, Shekinah, and T.I resurfaced, laughing, traveling, performing together. They were inseparable. But fans also remembered when cracks began showing between Tiny and Shekinah a few years back. That mysterious fallout, those vague Instagram posts about fake friends, nobody knew what really caused the distance until now. Maybe it wasn't just about loyalty or business. Maybe it was something far deeper. As the lawsuit details began circulating, insiders claimed Tiny had our receipts, financial statements, hidden transfers, messages that showed her money being moved without her knowledge. And those transfers reportedly aligned with the time Shekinah disappeared from the public eye, rumored to be pregnant. It didn't take long before fans connected the dots. Could it be that T.I had fathered a child with Shekinah and used Tiny's own money to cover it up? The thought alone made people shiver. The betrayal wasn't just romantic. It was personal, financial, emotional. Tiny, meanwhile, was silent. Not a single post. Not a single statement. But silence in her case was louder than any word. She didn't need to explain herself. The lawsuit said everything. It was her way of taking back her power, and maybe her dignity. Days later, reporters caught T.I leaving a courthouse in Atlanta. His face was unreadable. Cameras flashed, microphones surrounded him. But all he said was, "I'll handle this privately." Yet there was nothing private about what came next, because that same evening, Shekinah broke her silence, and she did it live. Her voice trembled as she went on Instagram, tears streaming down her face. She said, "I never meant for any of this to happen. I didn't plan it. I didn't ask for it. I was manipulated." Her words were like gasoline on an already burning fire. Fans went wild. Some called her a liar, others called her a victim. But one thing was certain, she was confirming something. Nobody thought she ever would. Shekinah said she'd been pressured to keep quiet, that she was afraid of destroying lives. She refused to name names, but everyone knew who she meant. Then she dropped a bombshell. I wasn't the only one who knew. That one line changed everything. People started speculating. Was Tiny aware all along? Did she find out years later? And if she did know, what finally pushed her to this breaking point? Some said it was when the alleged hidden child started asking questions. Others said Tiny discovered recordings, conversations that proved everything she'd suspected. By this point, T.I.'s world was collapsing. His image, once that of a family man who turned his life around, was falling apart in real time. He was reportedly pleading with Tiny to settle the matter privately, to think of their kids, their legacy. But Tiny wasn't hearing it. Sources close to her claimed she was done protecting him. For years, she had taken hits for him, defended him, stood beside him even when she should have walked away. But this time? This was too much. This wasn't just infidelity. This was betrayal that reached into her soul. He hadn't just lied, he'd used her, humiliated her, and made her look like a fool. Behind closed doors, the tension was unbearable. T.I tried calling, texting, even sending mutual friends to speak to her. But Tiny was cold, distant, focused. For once, she wasn't the one crying. He was. One insider described T.I as broken. He'd been through controversies before, but this felt different. This wasn't the media attacking him. This was the woman who knew every inch of his life, turning against him. Meanwhile, social media was divided. Some fans sided with Tiny, saying she was finally standing up for herself after years of disrespect. Others defended T.I, calling the allegations exaggerated. But then, something unexpected happened. A video leaked. It was reportedly a recording of T.I and Shekinah arguing, secretly filmed by someone close to them. The audio was muffled, but you could hear Shekinah crying, saying, "You promised me this wouldn't ruin everything." And T.I.'s voice, low and tense, replying, "I told you to keep quiet until I fix it." That clip alone sent the internet into a frenzy. Tiny saw it too. Friends say she watched the clip in silence, tears falling, but no surprise on her face. It was as if she'd known the truth for a long time. And this was just the world catching up. That night, she posted something on Instagram for the first time since the lawsuit. A black screen with white text. "When you give someone everything and they still choose to lie, it's not your loss. It's their curse." The post went viral instantly. Even celebrities were commenting, showing support. And while Tiny's words echoed empowerment, behind the scenes, she was still in pain. Her lawyers were working nonstop. She wasn't just asking for money. She was demanding accountability. That $100 million lawsuit wasn't about greed. It was symbolic. A price for every sleepless night, every lie, every fake smile she'd forced herself to give. T.I, on the other hand, was spiraling. His team tried to silence the story, but it was too late. His reputation was being shredded piece by piece. Interviews canceled. Partnerships frozen. Fans turning their backs. For a man who once prided himself on controlling every narrative, he had lost control completely. But then came the twist nobody saw coming. Shekinah vanished. Deleted her accounts. No posts, no updates, no trace. Some said she went into hiding after receiving threats. Others claimed she was negotiating with T.I.'s lawyers privately. Whatever the truth, her disappearance only fueled more rumors. 1 week later, Tiny was spotted leaving her attorney's office, head held high, wearing all white. Reporters shouted questions, asking if she'd spoken to Shekinah, if she planned to forgive T.I. She just smiled faintly and said, "Some truths don't need to be spoken. They show themselves." But just when everyone thought the story had peaked, a new twist dropped. Court documents leaked online, revealing that Tiny had recorded phone calls and as part of her evidence. In one, allegedly, T.I could be heard discussing how to move money discreetly and referencing keeping things off the books for Shekinah. Fans were stunned. If those recordings were real, it wasn't just emotional betrayal, it was legal trouble too. At this point, T.I had no choice but to speak out. He went live, looking tired, defeated, his voice breaking at times. "Y'all can believe what you want," he said, "but I ain't the monster they making me out to be. People twist stories, and folks who once stood beside you can turn on you when money's involved. I made mistakes, but I never stole from no woman, and I damn sure didn't hide no baby." His words hit hard, but by then it was too late. Public sympathy had already shifted. The internet had decided. Tiny, watching from home, reportedly didn't even flinch. To her, this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about closure, about showing the world who she really was after years of living in someone else's shadow. The trial date was set, and as both legal teams prepared for battle, Atlanta was buzzing. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone was waiting for the next twist. But deep down, those close to Tiny said something had changed in her. She wasn't angry anymore, just done. Done with saving a man who didn't save her. Done with keeping family secrets that destroyed her spirit. The woman who once said she'd never leave was now walking freely, reclaiming her peace one step at a time. And as for T.I, he was left standing in the ruins of his own empire, realizing too late that sometimes the people you take for granted are the ones who hold your whole world together. Because in the end, money can buy silence but not loyalty. And once trust is broken, even a king can lose his crown.